Did you know a worn gas cap could be quietly killing your engine's performance? It's true. Millions of drivers lose power, fuel, and trigger warning lights because of this one tiny part. But don't worry, this video shows you a dead simple gas cap trick to make your engine run like new. Stay with me, because at the end, I'll show you 2 overlooked cleaning moves that quietly unlock better performance. Let's dive in. Hack number 12. Clean the gas cap and filler neck. Over time, dust, road grime, and even bits of fuel residue collect around your gas cap and filler neck. This layer of gunk may seem harmless, but it can prevent the cap from sealing properly, letting air leak into the system. Most car washes won't even glance in this direction, so it's up to you to give your fuel system its own personal spa day. When that happens, fuel vapor escapes, pressure drops, and your engine starts to run like it skipped its morning coffee, hesitant, uneven, and inefficient. The good news? You don't need a mechanic, just a can of WD-40 and a clean cloth. Here's how to clean the gas cap and filler neck. Step 1. Pop the cap. Twist your gas cap open and remove it completely. Set it aside on a clean surface. This is your fuel system's first line of defense, and today, it's getting a much-needed tune-up. Step 2. Spray the cloth, not the cap or filler. Lightly mist WD-40 onto your cloth. Avoid spraying directly onto the car or the cap itself to prevent overspray from dripping into the tank. You don't want to coat parts that were never meant to be slippery. This gives you control over where the cleaner goes. Step 3. Wipe the gasket. Focus on the rubber ring underneath the gas cap. This gasket is what forms the airtight seal when you close your tank. Gently wipe the entire surface of the ring to remove buildup and bring back its flexibility. If it's dry or brittle, this cleaning may even help extend its life. Step 4. Clean the filler neck threads. Take a close look into the fuel opening. You'll see grooves or threads where the cap locks in. Run your cloth carefully along the inside edge, rotating as needed to get all the way around. Step 5. Lock it in. Once everything's clean, twist the cap back on until you hear that satisfying click. That sound means your gas cap has fully sealed. Even a clean cap can only do so much if it's already past its prime. Hack number 11. Replace a cracked, worn, or damaged gas cap. So maybe you've cleaned the cap, wiped the threads, and double-checked everything, but something still feels off. Turns out the real problem might have been staring you in the face all along. A cracked or dried out gas cap gasket. If that rubber ring is brittle, flattened, or missing altogether, it won't matter how clean everything else is. Air will still leak in, pressure will drop, and your engine will keep acting up like it's on strike. Expect rough idling, sputtering, weak acceleration, or worse, a sudden stall when you least expect it. And yes, that dreaded check engine light loves to join the party when your cap's compromised. Meanwhile, fuel vapor quietly escapes into the air, draining your tank and your wallet mile by mile. The good news? Some things are better replaced than revived. A new cap costs around $124 with labor, but if you're even a little handy, it's a 5-minute fix you can do yourself. No tools, no guesswork. But replacing a part is only useful if you're putting the right one in its place. Hack number 10. Use the right type of gas cap. Not all gas caps are created equal, and those few bucks you think you're saving with a generic one, they could cost you more in engine wear, fuel loss, and future repairs. Using the wrong cap, vented instead of non-vented or vice versa, is like putting the wrong lid on a pressure cooker. If your car needs a non-vented cap, but you install a vented one, pressure and vapors leak out, throwing off the entire fuel system. Your engine sensors get confused, fuel economy tanks, and performance takes a hit. Flip it around, and a non-vented cap on a vented system creates pressure buildup. That strains the fuel pump, disrupts airflow, and leaves your engine running rough and inefficient. Do not go for the basic caps. Skip the universal fit shelf candy and get a cap that actually matches your system. Grab one labeled Viton lined or e-fuel compatible. These are made to withstand ethanol blends like E10 and E15, which pull in moisture that breaks down standard rubber. Better materials mean a tighter seal, stronger pressure retention, and smoother engine performance. A $20 upgrade now could save you hundreds later and keep your engine running like it just rolled off the lot. Sometimes it's not the cap, it's the quiet hero underneath it that deserves the spotlight. If this is helping you out, give it a like and subscribe for more smart car tips that actually make a difference. Hack number 9. Swap out that tired rubber gasket. This little ring is the real MVP when it comes to sealing your fuel system. It holds in pressure, locks out air, and keeps fuel vapors from escaping into the wild. But with time, heat, and exposure to ethanol-laced fuels, it starts to dry out, flatten, or crack. And once that happens, your engine loses the airtight seal it depends on. Now, imagine this. It's been nearly a decade since your gas cap got any attention. No cleaning, no maintenance. Just constant exposure to heat, moisture, fuel vapor, and vibration. Over the years, that gasket has probably gone stiff like an old rubber band, brittle, shrunken, and barely hanging on. And yet, it's still expected to hold system pressure? Not a chance. If the plastic body of your gas cap is still solid, you don't need a full replacement. Just pop off the old gasket and slide on a fresh one. No tools or fuss, just a tighter seal in under a minute. A fresh gasket brings back the pressure your system needs to run smoothly. It helps keep sensors accurate, improves combustion balance, and even boosts fuel efficiency by up to 2%. That's real money saved over time, and one less reason for that check engine light to come knocking. But what if the cap's not loose, yet never feels fully tight either? Hack number 8. Fix or replace a loose gas cap. It clicks or it doesn't. There's no in between. That little twist at the pump? It matters more than you think. A gas cap that won't tighten properly or just keeps spinning isn't doing its job. No cracks, no visible damage, just loose. But even that slight wiggle can break the seal, letting vapors escape and unfiltered air sneak into your fuel system. Suddenly, your engine's balance is off, your fuel economy dips, and that check engine light starts flirting with your dashboard. Sometimes, the issue is user error, rushing the twist or not tightening it until it clicks. Other times, the locking mechanism itself has worn down after years of daily use. Start with a slow, steady twist until you hear the click. Still loose? Don't gamble with duct tape or wishful thinking. Replace it. A good quality or OEM fit gas cap costs next to nothing and installs in seconds. This isn't just about emissions or codes. A secure cap keeps your system pressurized and running smooth. So next time you fuel up, pay attention to the twist. It might just be the quiet fix your engine's been waiting for. A loose fit isn't always the gasket's fault. It might just need a little rejuvenation. Hack number 7. Give the gasket a silicone vitamin. Your nutritionist tells you to take vitamins to stay young. Your gas cap gasket needs the same love. Think of silicone dielectric grease as a multivitamin for aging rubber. It keeps things supple, strong, and sealing like new. That skinny gasket under the cap does more than you realize. It holds fuel pressure, blocks vapor leaks, and keeps your engine breathing clean. But time, heat, and ethanol-laced fuel dry it out fast. Left untreated, it stiffens, cracks, or sticks, causing pressure loss and engine hiccups. Here's the fix. Grab a tube of clear silicone dielectric grease, about $6 to $8 at any auto parts store. Once a year, dab a bit, just a pea-sized amount, onto a clean cloth and wipe it gently around the gasket. Then twist the cap on and off a few times to help it settle in. This miracle goo is used everywhere from spark plug boots to weather seals for a reason. It brings rubber back to life. It fights off moisture, blocks ethanol damage, and keeps the gasket sealing smoothly even in deep winter. Still catching a faint whiff of fuel in the air? The real issue might be right under your nose. Hack number 6. Check for fuel odor around the cap. A friend of mine kept complaining his car reeked of fuel. And no, he didn't even have to crouch down or sniff for it. The fumes practically punched him in the face every time he walked past the fuel door. His engine was fine, no visible leaks, but it turns out the problem was right under his nose. Literally, his gas cap gasket was worn and couldn't seal properly. As a result, fuel vapor was constantly escaping into the air. Not only did it waste fuel and tank pressure, but it also made his car stink like an old jerry can. Worse, those vapors are highly flammable. All it takes is a static spark, whether from clothes, metal, or even a cell phone, and you've got a serious fire hazard on your hands. Here's what to do. Give your gas cap a routine sniff test. Yes, seriously. If you catch a whiff of raw fuel near the filler area, something's off. Make sure the cap is clicked tight. Of course, your nose isn't the only way your car tells you something's off. Hack number 5. Listen for a hissing sound. When removing the cap, when you twist off your gas cap after a drive, pay attention. You should hear a soft, distinct hiss. That's the sound of pressure being safely released from a sealed fuel system. It's not just background noise. It's a health check for your engine. No hiss at all. That's a red flag. It could mean your gas cap isn't sealing correctly, or your fuel system isn't holding pressure like it should. This usually points to a worn-out gasket, a loose-fitting cap, or a venting issue that's allowing air to enter or vapor to escape when it shouldn't. On the other hand, if you hear a sharp, aggressive hiss, or one that seems to go on too long, you might be dealing with overpressurization. That can come from a stuck vent valve, clogged emissions lines, or internal vapor buildup. This creates unnecessary strain on your fuel system, especially the fuel pump, and can lead to inconsistent performance or long-term damage. Your gas cap is a pressure regulator. A missing or muffled hiss means it's not doing its job, but sound alone doesn't seal the deal. You'll want to feel what's going on beneath the surface. Hack number 4. Check the cap's spring tension. Beneath the surface of your gas cap is a small but mighty spring-loaded mechanism. It's this internal spring that helps apply consistent, firm pressure to clamp the cap tightly against the filler neck, creating that all-important airtight seal your fuel system relies on. But like all mechanical components, springs wear out. Constant exposure to heat, moisture, vibrations, and fuel vapors can cause the spring to weaken, stiffen, or seize altogether. The result? A cap that may feel like it's on tight because it clicks, but it's not actually sealing, and that means air can sneak in, fuel vapor can leak out, and system pressure drops. To test your spring, turn the gas cap over and press gently on its underside, the area that would press against the filler neck. A healthy spring should offer noticeable resistance and spring back smoothly. If it feels floppy, wobbly, or doesn't push back with a firm response, it's lost its tension. Don't ignore it. A weak spring means an unreliable seal, which can trigger performance issues, fuel inefficiency, and even check engine lights. If your spring's gone soft, it's time to retire the cap and grab a new one that can do the job right. And sometimes, when all else seems fine, it's worth asking, what isn't your cap doing? Hack number 3. Upgrade to a locking gas cap. Yes, we're talking about that unmistakable click, the sound of a properly sealed gas cap. But here's the kicker. Some newer cars don't even come with one that locks or seals right. It's not a malfunction. It's just bare bones manufacturing, designed to shave costs and get you through the warranty before problems start bubbling up. No lock means easy access for fuel thieves, but worse, it can mean weak sealing, pressure loss, and fuel vapor sneaking out. That's money evaporating into the air, not to mention a red flag for emission systems and engine sensors. Ditch the flimsy stock cap and install a locking gas cap. These upgraded versions do more than keep thieves out. They clamp tighter, resist tampering, and often come with higher quality rubber seals and stronger spring tension. That means less pressure loss and fewer fuel system issues down the line. Even if the seal feels strong, unseen damage might still be hiding in plain sight. Hack number 2. Inspect the cap for hairline cracks or warping. Your gas cap might look fine, but don't let it fool you. Tiny hairline cracks or a little warping can cause big problems. It's just like a soda bottle. If the cap's cracked, you lose the fizz. But in your car, it's not fizz you're losing. It's the pressure that keeps your engine happy. Gas caps are made of plastic, and plastic hates two things: sunlight and heat. Mix in some spicy ethanol vapors from modern fuel, and over time, your cap starts to dry, shrink, or split. You won't always see it right away. Grab your gas cap and hold it up to a bright light. Look closely. especially around the sealing ring and the outer edges. If you spot thin white lines or tiny splits, like spider webs, that's a problem. Also, lay it flat on a table. If one side lifts or wobbles, it's warped. Even the smallest crack can mess with the pressure seal, confuse your sensors, and throw your engine off its game. So don't wait for the check engine light. A 2-minute inspection today could save you from a week of headaches tomorrow. Cracks aren't the only hidden threat. Some problems are tucked even deeper inside. Hack number 1. Inspect the gas cap vent for blockages. Modern cars now have smart fuel systems, and part of that smarts comes from a tiny vent hidden inside your gas cap. This little valve balances pressure in your tank as fuel is used. But when it gets clogged with dirt, fuel residue, or even moisture, your car starts to feel not so smart. Suddenly, the engine might hesitate, your starts feel sluggish, or worse, fueling becomes a battle as the pump keeps shutting off. That's a classic sign of vacuum lock caused by a blocked vent. Here's the move. Flip your gas cap over and look for a tiny hole or vent slot. Gently clear it using a toothpick or a short puff of compressed air. Be careful not to jam anything too hard. You're cleaning, not digging. If the vent is sealed internally or still clogged after cleaning, swap the cap entirely. That tiny vent plays a big role in keeping your fuel system balanced. Keep it clear, and your car will run smoother, fuel easier, and breathe a whole lot better. Before you dive into bonus engine care tips, let's make sure your gas cap isn't already working against you. You'd be surprised how many engine headaches start with this small, often overlooked part. The gas cap may not look like a performance component, but when it's not doing its job, it can quietly throw your entire system off balance. Here's a quick way to check if it's gone bad. Step 1. The click test. After filling up, tighten your gas cap like you normally would. A healthy cap will give you a series of crisp clicks as it locks into place. If it spins endlessly, doesn't click at all, or still feels loose after tightening, there's a problem. That usually means the internal mechanism or seal has. Without a proper seal, fuel vapors escape, pressure drops, and your car's sensors throw a fit. Cue the check engine light. Even worse, it could cost you at your next emissions test. Step number 2, gasket inspection. Flip the cap over and zoom in on that rubber ring tucked underneath. That's the gasket, the MVP when it comes to sealing off your fuel system. If it looks cracked, feels like dry toast, or has chunks missing like it's been through a lawnmower, it's officially past its prime. Brittle, damaged gaskets can't hold a seal, and that means pressure escapes and problems start creeping in. Step number 3, vacuum test. Still unsure if your gas cap is sealing like it should? Grab a handheld vacuum pump and put it to the test. Pump it up to about 10 inches of mercury and watch the gauge closely. If the needle starts dropping within 30 seconds, you've got a leak on your hands, and even a small one can mess with your fuel system, throw off pressure, and trigger those annoying check engine lights. This kind of leak can fool your engine into thinking there's a bigger issue, leading to wasted time and money swapping out perfectly fine sensors or injectors. A quick vacuum test can save you all that guesswork. We recommend the CarSC Vacuum Pump Tester Kit. It's affordable, just around $15, user-friendly, and gets the job done without any guesswork. Step number 5, sniff test. Let your car sit for a little while, then head over to the fuel door and take a quick whiff. If you catch a strong smell of gasoline, that's not just something in the air, it's your car waving a red flag. A lingering fuel odor usually means vapors are escaping, and that's a clear sign your gas cap isn't sealing the way it should. It could be a tired gasket or just an old cap losing its grip. Either way, fuel is slipping out without the engine even running. And here's the kicker. If your nose can pick it up, your car's onboard system definitely can too. Step number 5, using an OBD2 scanner. If you want a no-nonsense way to confirm things, grab an OBD2 scanner and plug it into the port, usually tucked under the dashboard near the steering column. Switch the ignition to on, no need to start the engine, and let the tool do its thing. What you're watching for are codes like P0457, P0456, P0442, or P0455. These aren't doom and gloom, they're just telling you there's a leak in your evap system. And guess what? Most of the time, the culprit is a loose or worn out gas cap. Running this scan takes a minute or two, but it saves hours of guessing. Instead of playing detective with your engine, you'll head straight to the source and possibly avoid an unnecessary trip to the mechanic. Step number 6. Pay attention to check engine light. That glowing little icon on your dash, it's not always the sign of something serious. In fact, a loose gas cap is one of the most common and easily fixable reasons it lights up, especially in vehicles made after 1996. So before jumping to worst-case scenarios, give your gas cap a quick look. If it's not clicked in properly, that might be all it takes to trigger the warning. Tighten it until you hear a few solid clicks, and you might just see that light go off after a few drives. Sometimes, the simplest fixes are the most overlooked. Now that your gas cap's in check, let's look at 2 bonus ways to keep your engine running like new. Tip number 1, carbon cleanup. Over time, a layer of black, sticky carbon builds up inside your engine. It clings to the intake valves, pistons, and other internal surfaces like an unwelcome guest that won't leave. The results? Hesitant starts, jerky acceleration, rough idling, and even strange knocking sounds. Your engine starts feeling sluggish and unrefined, like it's aging prematurely. This buildup is even worse if you frequently take short trips or use lower quality fuel. The carbon acts like a clog in your engine's airflow, disrupting combustion and choking performance. Imagine trying to breathe through a dirty sock. Not fun, right? Well, that's exactly how your engine feels when carbon deposits pile up. Fortunately, cleaning things up is easier than you'd think. You have 2 effective options. Pour in fuel system cleaners that gradually dissolve carbon during driving, or the heavy-duty route, walnut blasting. Yes, mechanics actually use crushed walnut shells blasted into the intake to scour carbon off the valves. If your car uses direct injection, a carbon cleanup every 30,000 to 50,000 miles can make a night and day difference. You'll enjoy smoother power delivery, sharper throttle response, improved fuel economy, and fewer annoying engine noises. Think of it as a detox treatment for your hardworking motor. Tip number 2, clean the mass airflow (MAF) sensor. Every time you press the gas pedal, your engine relies on the mass airflow (MAF) sensor to tell it how much air is coming in. This tiny component, wedged between the air filter and intake, is the brain behind perfect combustion. It helps your ECU balance air and fuel like a chef seasoning a perfect dish. But over time, dust, oil mist, and grime start building up on the sensor. That buildup throws off readings, forcing your engine to operate on bad data. The results? Sloppy acceleration, poor fuel economy, rough idling, and an engine that just doesn't feel right. Luckily, cleaning the MAF sensor is quick and painless. No need to pull the engine apart. Simply unplug the sensor, remove it gently, and spray it with a MAF-specific cleaner. Never use anything else. Avoid touching the wires inside. They're delicate. Let it air dry completely before reinstalling. Do this every 12,000 to 15,000 miles, especially if you drive in dusty or urban conditions. Pair it with your air filter cleaning for best results. A clean MAF sensor helps your engine breathe freely, respond faster, and sip fuel more efficiently. Your engine's breathing better, your fuel system's tighter. But don't stop there. What's power without control? Your suspension takes a beating every mile you drive. Treat it right, and it'll outlast the car. Next up, doing this will make your car's suspension last forever.